Into this, and playing a rucksack, pretty conservative one, so certainly an interesting strategy. Perhaps Ernest will. Oh, looks like Ernest is going to go straight into damage, and that's an aggressive play from Ernest Patton that we actually haven't seen in the tournament yet. So he's changing up his strategy a little bit, and he's going to drop Chris as soon as he swings with that Cthulhu 23500. So that's certainly an interesting play, but not a bad one. So Ernest is going to swing for 500 and hit Chris. As we said previously, hitting him for 500. And then Chris is going to get the turn past him with no stops. Ernest on the board. Chris looks like he's going to obviously play behind it. Now, I find this interesting because both these players have played in the past, the same seats, actually, interestingly enough, Chris won his game significantly earlier before Ernest did as well. So, Chris had a little bit more time to woo-saw, a little bit of stress over at the judges' table, trying to get that split coordinated, but it is what it is, and now Chris is going into game one on the draw against Ernest Patton, who beat him previously, so that's got to feel bad. Now, these, of course, are the finals of the ARG Philly Championship. Double regalia from Chris early on, triple regalia, actually, discarding in order to play Bahamut, killing his Cthulhu and swinging in. Wow. So it looks like Chris actually drew the dot draw. And actually, he's going to keep it open, interestingly enough. He's not opting to pump his Bahamut for extra damage. Interesting. So yeah, I guess he's afraid. I mean, maybe Ernest could draw, and maybe I don't know. I don't know. I actually think Chris may be able to stick here because if Ernest has any way to deal with that, he loses. Actually, to be perfectly honest. So that's this is really risky for Chris to be that aggressive that early on. And actually, of course, Ernest is going to go down to 3,000. I'm really anxious to see kind of how this plays out. I'm surprised when you're on the draw to be that aggressive. There's the loop seg, and definitely no J activation from Ernest here. Into Cthulhu, and he might swing in Crime and Punishment, which I wouldn't be surprised. And of course, he did get that loop seg proc, so he's going to search his deck. I mean, that's true. He does know that Ernest has the possibility of doing that. But again, I'm pretty certain Ernest main deck's for Crime and Punishment, so I definitely think Ernest's deck is tuned a little better for this matchup. And actually, Chris is at 3,000, not 3,500, because he took 500 from the Wolf. But again, I can't. No, I'm not saying CMP is possible right now. He still has one red open. So if he has a CMP in his hand, he could CMP if he runs into it with his Cthulhu, and then, force him to reactivate that Bahamut. But yeah, Chris is actually at 3,000. Oh yeah, no, that's exactly right. Yeah, it looks like Chris is playing very cautiously against Ernest over here. It looks like Ernest is going to take that 500 from that Cthulhu, bringing it down to 2,500. Definitely a play here. Ernest's kind of nervous right now. You can see him kind of shuffling his cards. I believe he discarded maybe a kind of punishment, so I think he's hoping he draws another card with him. That would certainly solve a lot of issues. Neck and neck, 25 to 25. It looks like Ernest is swinging in for another 600. So bringing Chris down to 1,900. And again, a very aggressive play from Ernest. And again, Chris is pretty starved right now. I mean, Ernest only has two stones, but that's double the ones that Chris has. And Chris has got a Hamlet play as well. So kind of in a poor situation right now. And honestly, next turn, that's lethal if Chris can't handle the Lancelot of Bahamut, and that's pretty risky. Chris hesitantly decides to swing into Ernest. It looks like Ernest is going to take the damage and go down to 1,500. Oh, he's going to call us. I'm very confused. Stream, did you catch that? All I saw was Bahamut get rested, and that was it. Oh, wow, nope, never came. Wow, Ernest Patton with game one. Wow, that was pretty fast. And there you have it, folks. Bahamut on the... Yeah, sorry guys, unfortunately the other camera's not available, so we're just gonna stare at Chris. Chris is actually a really nice guy, great player, and he was a really good sport. You know, it's anytime you lose to your own misplay, you know, that is what it is. You know, right now, Chris and Ernest are talking. They actually had quite a few conversations between rounds. So. But yeah, definitely interesting to see the camaraderie born off of, you know, kind of the hate that could come from a misplay. You know, it's like adversity brings us together. So great sportsmanship between Ernest and Chris. Unfortunately, that camera's not available. So just let you see. right now is Chris, but getting a nice sideboard in right now, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if finals is best of 5. They might just do best of 3, depending. But I don't think they want us to be here that late. Again, I don't know about Chris, but I know Ernest and I have like a 4.5 hour drive. So we're looking to get out of here and then just be back by 2 a.m. to IHOP with his winnings. Oh no. I promise you guys that we get a cheesesteak, right? At Gino's? Looks like side decking has taken place. And we're looking 4,000, 4,000. Ernest versus Chris. Game 2, and looks like Chris is on the play for certain. Now, I'm going to guess that Ernest is actually going to sideboard into Meldris. Now, I gotta say, I don't actually think banning Bahamut would be the issue. And I think we talked earlier on the stream a little bit. I think the Regalia in general, it's not... The issue isn't so much Bahamut or the fact that those can flip very quickly because they basically have no cost to flip. I think the bigger problem is the Regalia. Now, do I think it's super necessary to ban anything outright right now? I think we should wait and see, at least to see if there are answers in the new set coming out soon. Yeah, I think banning it outright right now, I mean, there's only a few tournaments between now and then, so we might have a degenerate format. But again, I'm actually really hopeful to see if anybody can improve on the current lists that we saw with the Grim that made top 8 today, and the Vlad. So, again, like I said, we have a hyper aggro, we have a mid-range with Grim, and then we have a control with Vlad. So, there's not... I mean, there's some diversity here, and now that people have better deck lists, kind of with the decks that we just saw. Oh, guys, we have picture, my man. Hell yeah. We got Ernest and Chris back again. Looks like they're exchanging some friendly banter. I think Chris and Ernest already know what each other is basically going to sideboard in, utilizing their previous experience. And it's always nice to see two players that have actually played each other in previous rounds play again as well. No, I mean, you guys aren't wrong. I mean, definitely, you know, it's a little silly to have people getting turn 2 and turn 3 wins, but again, I've seen worse. I'm just kidding. I've never seen worse in a card game before, but at least there's 3 different decks that are played. You know what I mean? And, I mean, even these games on ending on turn 2 or turn 3. Well, that, yeah, and, yeah, he's right too, so. I don't understand what's happening, but they're laughing. Maybe not. Okay, so to be real though, just for the stream, if you guys want to talk about some degenerate stuff, ending on turn 3 is grimy, but you know what's even grimier? Ending, playing like against the deck like eggs in Magic, where you literally combo off for like 45 minutes and go and get a win. You know what I mean? That's ridiculous, and that's a degenerate deck. I've seen some ridiculous stuff in the games that I've played, and that's where you really need to draw the line. It's sitting there and literally watching the dude play solitaire. This is annoying, but at least you can do things, and like you can swing in response, and like sometimes do interactions. There's like the My Little Pony collectible card game actually is a perfect example. There's combo decks in that game that literally just go off and you can't respond at all. You know, I know there's stuff like that in Pokemon too. So there's definitely games out there that are legitimately degenerate that should have ban lists. Whereas here, this is a little silly, but at least there's diversity. You know, even if it's 3 decks and they all basically do the same thing. You know what I mean? So it looks like it's 40 to 40. No, living proof. I think that's exactly what's going to happen. Actually, a lot of people, man. They just had their nationals like 2 weeks ago. No, I think we can all agree that the power level of Regalia is just a little too ridiculous right now. But it looks like we're all tired and ready to see the ending of this glorious day between Ernest and Chris. That's some calculated shuffling, man. Did Ernest? No, he mulled 4. Wow. Yep, and there's the Melgis play like we thought. So we're going to see Melgis versus Chris. And Chris is like... I'm telling you, you know what you need to do, man, is play that new Grim deck. I thought that was the coolest deck interaction I've seen so far. And you do have a lot of stuff to do. And the fact that you have like Little Prince and you can like tutor for things, honestly, man, like I honestly, after seeing that Grim deck and, you know, it almost beat the #1 seeded player Paul, I was pretty impressed with it, so. Wow, did he just swing into Ernest and do 1,000 damage? I think he did. That's fun. So, Ernest had 3,000 health. So Chris is 4,000. Oh, I don't think Force is going anywhere, guys. In fact, the community's getting larger and these events are getting larger as well. Also, with Worlds around the corner, I mean, and Vingolf just dropped. If anything, this game's expanding. And this isn't just me being a caster, you know what I mean? This isn't just me being invested into the game. I've seen a lot of different card games over the years, and Force is, it's like a cult, man. It's ridiculous. Like, people come out of nowhere. It's, and even if, I mean, it's just, like, people are pretty vested in this game, too. Like, I'd be pretty, yeah, exactly. Wait till September. I think people are going to be around for a while, and I want to see how Worlds goes. I think that's going to be a huge selling point, too. And I think, honestly, the Force of Will team has done a really good job of pushing their product as well. Well, yeah, that's true. So actually, interestingly enough, so Ernest Patton, the guy on the left, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Yu-Gi-Oh! Or like old school Yu-Gi-Oh! But Ernest Patton invented Go Control. He created the Metamorphosis meta by utilizing that in TSR, Thousand Knights Restrict. He was the guy that pioneered it, he was around the same time like Lord St. Clair first started playing. What? What? I think that was game 2. Hold on. There's like 200 people on here, man. Huh? 103? Hey guys, we're back. Yeah, that was game 2, actually. So Ernest taking the loss against Chris Kemple. Good times. Now let's see if Ernest decides to, wow. Hell yeah, I like you guys. My man, saving lives. Alright, gentlemen, this is our last and final game, I think. I don't know if they're going to do best of 5. It depends how salty they get, but I think they're ready to get. Yeah, dude, Chris and Ernest are just gone. Dude. This was a hell of a day. I think they literally played Bahamut 10, or I'm sorry, so 7, 8, 4, yeah, 10 out of 10 rounds. So I want you guys to keep that in mind going into this last event. We've got Ernest and Chris. Guys, don't tell your friends about this stream, and don't invite me to go cast at your events. No, I'm excited. So yeah, clearly Chris and Ernest are just ready to go. So it's 1-1 going to the final game. Ernest is on the play here. Bahamut versus Bahamut. I'm anxious to see if Ernest plays Melgus, but I definitely think he probably should have learned from last game and probably not play Melgus and just go straight into Bahamut because that served him correctly last time. So I definitely think that's the play here. Starting with Mulligan, keeping a Grnad here. I guess he's looking for that consistency. Both gonna mow 1. Looking pretty stoic going forward, but yep, and I guess Ernest is gonna stick with Melgus, so I guess on the play, I mean, that makes sense. And yeah, so staying to what they're comfortable with. Oh wow, and there's the Regalia, there's the Guinevere, and geez, Ernest definitely looking pretty good right now. Yeah, Bloody Snow White is certainly a contender, but there were a few of those this tournament, and none of them top 8, and we had a Grim and a Vlad, so if that tells you anything, it certainly is that, I mean, I saw a few X2, I think there was an X2 and an X3 Bloody Snow White, so they were around, but yeah, yeah, Lunacy, you have it exactly right. Bloody Snow White is very dependent on your apples, like 100%. Basically, it's like, do you have an apple in your opening hand? Roll 5. And if you don't get one, and you probably should be playing like Cheshires too, like it's rough. Yeah, they're gonna drop these deck lists out probably in the next couple days, if not tomorrow. ARG is usually pretty good about dropping these deck lists. Did he just? I'm confused. I don't, dude, guys, Chris is going nuts right now. Oh my God. What is happening right now with these guys? Like, I wish you guys, no, you guys can't see the judge's face. That dude with the sweet beard. There's quite the crowd for top 2 right now. An interesting play, and I see what Ernest is doing. He probably sided in to his Flames of the Outer World, and he's playing Melges because he knows that since he's on the play, unless Chris does the same thing he did last turn, or when Chris was on the play, Ernest should out-tempo him just from the stones. And that's the biggest problem that Chris is going to have, because now that Ernest has a stone, he can go, even if Ernest does his Bahamut shenanigans, Ernest can respond by literally swinging into his Bahamut. And that solves a lot of problems. I like the Apple stack, Granny Grim. Wow. Okay, Chris starting with double sword. Oh my God! Literally opens with a Lancelot. Jeez. Like, looks like Ernest is gonna start taking damage, dropping straight to 34. Lancelot proving his strength, as always. Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting play. I mean, the whole thing with opening multiple swords is you have to respond to it, you know what I mean? And now he's just swinging into the Lancelot with his Lancelot, which is, again, a pretty safe play. And Ernest knows that because he has the stones, he's definitely, like, Chris wasted a sword, so he's down 1 Regalia in order to get the Lancelot open. So, who really won here? Ernest, who has 34, and 1 more sword? You know what I mean? Like, that's... Lancelot's a strong opener, but Ernest responded to his own Lancelot. It's not a big deal. Rujag flipping Bahamut. Wow. Well, that's exactly right, yeah. So I think Ernest made the right play here, and Ernest is up on stones. Like, Chris literally has 1 stone, and Ernest is about to have 3, and Ernest is right up for a strike on his J-Boomer. So, I don't know. I definitely think Chris is in a pretty bad spot right now. Yes, Regalia advantage is huge. Ernest generally plays Faulty Gold or Bahamut game 1, and then game 2 he almost always sides Melges. Because it's very strong and it's hard to deal with, and we don't know exactly what to do. So basically, he's going into game 3 on the play knowing he's going to out-tempo Chris on stones, and that if he can, basically the way this works is Ernest is hoping that he can kill Bahamut more Regalias than Chris has. And if he does, he wins, because Chris's entire strategy is based around killing you with Bahamut. So, one of 2 things happens. Chris will run out of Resonators, which is pretty unlikely if he's using Rukegs, which, again, is whatever. Or, oh, and note that he actually didn't summon or didn't swing with the Bahamut, because he's afraid of the first strike from Melges. So he has learned, he didn't call Stone either. So that's interesting as well. So again, not that interesting because he would have gotten killed with the first strike. That's literally exactly if Ernest was the right sword. Or a second red stone. Wow. And that's basically game, folks, because now Ernest is going to keep getting stones. And if he kills his faulty, like his Melges, it doesn't matter. So I think Ernest is deciding if he wants to use the swords or if he wants to hold on to them. Because he's afraid of Thunder, so that's why he's holding 2 in case Chris wants to do a Thunder on his turn or his turn. So Chris is going to go to 28. his ruler still has the perishable, and Ernest is up on stones too. So 3 stones to 1 stone, and he has his ruler. So to be honest, if Ernest loses his ruler, it's actually not even that bad, because first off, it's going to crash with Bahamut, and so Bahamut's going to die, which is pretty important. And then Chris can't swing a second time. So I actually don't know if I don't know. I kind of feel like maybe Chris should have blocked that, but I don't even know. I think Chris is kind of in a bad situation regardless. He doesn't want to tap the Regalius Remel just because he already was doing extra 200 damage because he had to tap one early. So he was doing an extra 200, and then he's afraid of Thunder. So if Chris has if Chris has 2 Thunders in his hand, he can call a stone with Bahamut instead of attacking. Thunder Melges, and then Thunder a second time in response to you know what I mean? In response before it's imperishable. Looks like Ernest is at 22. And we're just gonna move forward. Also, thanks again for the stream, ladies and gentlemen. Excited to be here. Happy that everyone's excited. So Ernest is at 22. The real question is, can Chris OTK him? And I don't know actually how many cards Chris has in his hand. But with all of those redraws, that was like 3. So, and I know one of those is over. Now, if Ernest has a... I don't know, actually, Ernest might have... It's interesting to see him do the counterplay to the Thunder. There's not much going on here outside of Ernest just basically playing out Thunder. Yeah, no, there's no way that he can OTK right now, but he's definitely up right now. I don't think Chris can OTK either. Even if, I guess he'd have to summon a root. I think he can do a max of 24. Oh, maybe he can OTK, because if he eggs, swings, does 400. I was going to check his ruler a second time. Maybe. That's true. Yeah, I believe he thundered Stone Recovery. Now they're explaining the situation. Yeah, you guys are all complaining, man. This is like turn 8, man. These Bahamut games aren't as fast as y'all think. The judge is looking up the ruling right now. So essentially what's happening is they're arguing about the timing of Thunder. That's what it looks like to me from the stream. So the players want to know, I guess, I think he's wondering if he can still J-activate the same turn that he's Thundered if it's in the ready phase. Now, if that's the case, then Chris basically wasted his Thunder, essentially, which is huge. It's literally just a waste of a card, and then Chris, yeah, this is really upset again for the second time on screen. This is the second time Chris did this on stream. Yeah, I don't know why they're... I don't understand. Oh my god, guys, they pulled over Jeff Jones. Jeff Jones is a force of will judge, and he like won another ARG in the past. Yeah, Jeff Jones is the top Yu-Gi-Oh player. Actually, he's here for a Yu-Gi-Oh event. I think he activated both swords, and I think that's the issue. But I don't know. I think he doesn't want to tap one. I don't know. I'm honestly confused too. Okay, so it looks like Ernest is fine. Wow. Wow. Literally 6 hours later, man. Unreal. I don't even know what to say right now. I mean, at least, I don't even want to say Chris is being a case because he basically, just like you guys said, he should be short. I don't understand exactly what. So basically, Chris can swing in for 1800 and put Ernest at 6, and then I'm pretty certain Chris has a Rupseg maybe, and if he has a Cthulhu, that puts Ernest at 800. I don't think Ernest can lose. He'd have to top deck a Cthulhu. He'd have to have two. He has a Rupseg in his hand, and I think he's one of the cards. He'd literally have to top deck a Cthulhu. So I think they're arguing about the way the sword interaction as well too. Oh my god, is that lethal? Oh my god, that's game. I think. Yeah. Holy shit. Oh, I mean, excuse my language. That's game. Ernest has it. Oh my god, I think that's the team. Oh my god. Yeah, you're getting after it. Everyone, I want you to look at this judge. I mean, that's quality. I mean, that's. Yeah, I think he's handling the situation well. I'm not even trolling right now. Like, this is like, they're like trying to be like I don't even know. Like the judge is handling the situation well because at least he's trying in his best in order to like calm Chris down. And I think Ernest is playing this really well too, where he's just kind of like, you know. Salt is so good. Yeah, it looks like Chris is at 23. I apologize, folks. Oh my god, now he's explaining it, guys. Got him. Guys, I think Ernest Patton is going to be a rising star. I don't know if you guys caught him earlier, but he was actually the co-caster I was rolling with earlier, Aqua. So if you guys actually want to check out one of our channels, we were doing commentary on some other games on Flip Matters. That's our page on YouTube. And we're going to try to make it. Do you guys want us to go down and cast together in Texas? I know this last game is a little straining, but for those of you that joined us earlier in the day. Oh wow, did you guys see him with that handshake? Holy shit. That was a super salty. Yeah, it's not bad. Yes and no. So like, so Matt's the head judge. And